It was then, as the last rays of daylight melted into the indigo embrace of night, that a figure emerged from the shadows. A cloak of darkness swirled around them, and their voice carried a weight that seemed to bend the very air. "Damba," they spoke, their words a sigh in the wind. "I can grant you wealth beyond imagining, but in return, you must agree to a pact." Damba's heart skipped a beat, torn between curiosity and fear. "Who are you?" he asked, squinting into the twilight. "I am Mokolo, spirit of the deep," the figure replied, their voice echoing like distant thunder. "I offer you riches untold, but you must spend one night with the Mermaid of Coral Cove. She is a creature of beauty unmatched, but every moment with her will age you, Damba." Damba hesitated, his mind racing. The thought of wealth shimmered like a mirage in the desert of his struggles, but he knew not what price such riches might exact. Yet, the faces of his hungry children and his weary wife haunted his thoughts, their needs like stones weighing heavy on his soul. With a solemn nod, Damba agreed to Mokolo's terms. The spirit's eyes gleamed with a light that was neither warm nor comforting, and a chill settled in the air as the pact was sealed. "Row to Coral Cove at midnight," Mokolo instructed, their voice fading into the darkness. "The mermaid awaits." In a small village by the shimmering shores of West Africa, where the scent of salt mingled with the cries of seabirds, there lived a fisherman named Damba. He was known for his sturdy boat and the way he could read the sea like a book. Each morning, Damba set out before dawn, his nets heavy with hope, seeking the bounty that would feed his family and warm their humble hut. But the sea, capricious and fickle, had grown stingy with its gifts. As the sun dipped low one evening, casting a fiery glow over the horizon, Damba sat mending his nets on the weathered wooden pier. His brow furrowed with worry, for his catches had dwindled to mere scraps. Beside him, the waves whispered secrets of distant lands and hidden treasures, teasing him with promises of fortune just out of reach. It was then, as the last rays of daylight melted into the indigo embrace of night, that a figure emerged from the shadows. A cloak of darkness swirled around them, and their voice carried a weight that seemed to bend the very air. "Damba," they spoke, their words a sigh in the wind. "I can grant you wealth beyond imagining, but in return, you must agree to a pact." Damba's heart skipped a beat, torn between curiosity and fear. "Who are you?" he asked, squinting into the twilight. "I am Mokolo, spirit of the deep," the figure replied, their voice echoing like distant thunder. "I offer you riches untold, but you must spend one night with the Mermaid of Coral Cove. She is a creature of beauty unmatched, but every moment with her will age you, Damba." Damba hesitated, his mind racing. The thought of wealth shimmered like a mirage in the desert of his struggles, but he knew not what price such riches might exact. Yet, the faces of his hungry children and his weary wife haunted his thoughts, their needs like stones weighing heavy on his soul. With a solemn nod, Damba agreed to Mokolo's terms. The spirit's eyes gleamed with a light that was neither warm nor comforting, and a chill settled in the air as the pact was sealed. "Row to Coral Cove at midnight," Mokolo instructed, their voice fading into the darkness. "The mermaid awaits." As the village slept, Damba prepared his boat for the journey ahead. The moon hung like a silver coin in the sky, casting a path of light upon the restless sea. With each stroke of his oar, the water whispered secrets of ancient depths and forgotten treasures, urging him forward with a song as old as time itself. Coral Cove beckoned in the distance, its rocky cliffs bathed in the moon's ethereal glow. Damba's heart pounded in his chest as he neared the shore, his senses tingling with a mixture of fear and anticipation. There, amidst the crashing waves and swirling mists, he saw her, a mermaid with skin like moonlit pearls and hair that shimmered with the hues of twilight. She sang a haunting melody that echoed in Damba's soul, a lullaby of longing and forgotten dreams. Her eyes, pools of liquid silver, held a depth that threatened to drown him in their depths. "Damba," she whispered, her voice a melody woven from the threads of starlight. "Come closer." Mesmerized by her beauty, Damba approached cautiously. The mermaid's smile was both enchanting and sorrowful, her gaze piercing through the veil of his uncertainties. "Stay with me tonight," she murmured, her voice a gentle caress upon the sea breeze, "and riches beyond measure shall be yours." Damba hesitated, the weight of his decision heavy upon his weary shoulders. The memory of his family's struggles echoed in the recesses of his mind, their faces etched with longing and hope. With a resolve born of desperation, he took her hand and followed her into the depths of Coral Cove, where time and tide converged in a dance as old as creation itself. Within the cavernous depths of Coral Cove, where the echoes of waves and whispers of forgotten tales intertwined, Damba and the mermaid stood beneath the moon's watchful gaze. Her touch was like cool silk against his weathered skin, her presence a balm to the ache that had settled in his soul. "Mokolo's pact binds us," the mermaid spoke, her voice a ripple in the tranquil waters. "For one night, you shall know the wealth of empires and the treasures of kings. But with each passing moment, your years will flow like sand through an hourglass, leaving behind only echoes of what once was." Damba nodded solemnly, his heart heavy with the weight of his choice. The mermaid's eyes held a sadness that mirrored his own, a longing for a world beyond the confines of their fateful bargain. "I accept," he whispered, his voice a prayer upon the wind, "whatever may come." And so, beneath the stars that shimmered like scattered jewels upon the velvet canvas of night, Damba and the mermaid shared a night of secrets and stolen moments. Time stood still as they danced upon the edge of eternity, their laughter a melody that echoed through the caverns of Coral Cove. But as the first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, Damba felt a tremor in his bones. The weight of years pressed upon him like a mantle of lead, each breath a testament to the fleeting nature of mortal desires. With a heavy heart, he bid farewell to the mermaid and returned to the world above, his soul forever marked by the touch of Coral Cove's elusive beauty. Damba returned to his village as the sun climbed higher in the sky, its warmth a stark contrast to the chill that had settled in his bones. His footsteps echoed through streets that had once felt familiar, now transformed by the weight of his newfound wealth. Gold coins spilled from his pockets like raindrops upon parched earth, and his home gleamed with treasures from distant lands. The villagers marveled at his transformation, their whispers a symphony of awe and envy. Overnight, Damba had become a merchant of riches beyond imagining, his days filled with opulence and extravagance. Yet amidst the splendor, a shadow lingered in the corners of his gaze, a reminder of the price he had paid for his fortune. Time flowed like a river through Damba's fingers, each day blending into the next in a haze of luxury and longing. He watched his children grow from afar, their laughter a distant echo in the halls of his gilded mansion. His wife, once his anchor in the stormy seas of life, drifted further from his grasp with each passing year. But it was not until the eve of a stormy night, much like the one where it all began, that Mokolo appeared once more. The spirit's eyes gleamed with a light that was both ancient and unfathomable, their voice a whisper carried upon the wind. "Damba," they spoke, their words a solemn echo of a forgotten promise, "your wealth has come at a price. The mermaid's embrace has aged your spirit, and now, it is time for me to claim what is rightfully mine." Damba's blood ran cold as the weight of Mokolo's words settled upon him like a shroud. The memories of Coral Cove and the mermaid's haunting melody flooded his mind, their echoes mingling with the whispers of regret that lingered in his heart. "What must I do?" he asked, his voice barely more than a whisper upon the wind. Mokolo's eyes gleamed with an ancient knowing, their gaze piercing through the veil of Damba's uncertainties. "Follow me," they commanded, their voice carrying a weight that seemed to bend the very fabric of reality. With a heavy heart, Damba followed Mokolo into the depths of the storm, where lightning danced upon the horizon and thunder echoed through the night. Through wind and rain, storm and tempest, Damba followed Mokolo into the heart of the storm. The village faded into the distance behind them, its light swallowed by the darkness that enveloped their path. Lightning illuminated the rugged terrain, casting eerie shadows upon the rocky cliffs that loomed like silent sentinels along the shore. The air crackled with electricity, a palpable tension that mirrored the turmoil within Damba's soul. He knew not what lay ahead, only that Mokolo's presence heralded a reckoning long overdue. The spirit moved with an otherworldly grace, their form shifting like smoke in the wind, leading Damba deeper into the labyrinth of their shared fate. As they descended into the abyss, where the sea met the sky in a tumultuous embrace, Damba felt the weight of his choices press upon him like the crushing depths of the ocean. The mermaid's song echoed in his ears, a haunting melody that spoke of love and loss, of dreams forsaken and promises broken. Each step brought him closer to the truth that awaited him at the heart of Mokolo's domain. At last, they arrived at a place where land and sea converged in a realm untouched by mortal hands. The court of shadows lay before them, a realm of darkness and light, where the spirits of the deep whispered secrets as old as time itself. Mokolo led Damba through winding corridors of stone and shadow, their footsteps echoing in the stillness of the abyss. Within the heart of the court, amidst pillars of obsidian and pools of shimmering darkness, sat the Council of Spirits, a gathering of beings whose forms shifted like reflections upon the surface of a troubled sea. Their eyes, pools of liquid silver, held a wisdom that transcended mortal understanding, their voices a symphony of whispers that filled the air with a weighty silence. "Damba," Mokolo spoke, their voice reverberating through the chamber like a ripple upon the water, "you have sought wealth beyond measure, and now, you must face the consequences of your choices." Damba bowed his head, his heart heavy with the weight of his regrets. The spirit's gaze bore into him, their judgment as immutable as the laws of nature itself. "I accept," he whispered, his voice a fragile echo in the vastness of the court.